Welcome into the Dylan Talks Wrestling YouTube channel, and welcome in to Yappin' Wrestling, where you guessed it, I yap about wrestling. Everything from breaking news, instant reactions, predictions. If you love wrestling, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get into today's video. All right, welcome back into the channel. Today we are, of course, talking Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, the feud that is just on the horizon, and how I would book it, because I think this could very well be the feud of the year, the rivalry of the year at the Slammy Awards for WWE, but it's important to get it done correctly. WWE's done an excellent job so far. I'm going to give my take, pick up the pen, and kind of tell you guys where I would go with this storyline that makes the most sense for both parties involved. If you haven't already checked out my Clash at the Castle review, it is live now on the channel. But let's hop right into how I would book this. And we're going to start with Monday Night Raw. Right after Clash at the Castle, if you're seeing this, the second it dropped, Monday Night Raw. Tonight, Corpus Christi, Texas, Money in the Bank qualifier matches starting tonight. Drew McIntyre will be on Raw, CM Punk will not. He has already said he's going to be in Chicago for SmackDown, so keep that in mind. Drew McIntyre goes into Adam Pearce's office. What the hell, dude? I got absolutely hosed, screwed at Clash at the Castle. This is some BS. What are you going to do to fix this? And Pearce says, listen, that ankle spot that Priest had is going to keep him out of action for a little while. But I'll tell you what, Drew. You can be the first superstar to have a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Drew gets that match with a veteran, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio. Take your pick of the litter. It doesn't matter to the booking. Demolishes them. Maybe not a squash, but very clearly agitated, wrestling with confidence. Claymore, under an 8-minute match. The guy is a beast. He beasts and he feasts on his opponent. Drew McIntyre now in the Money in the Bank ladder match. However, we're not done this week. CM Punk shows up to SmackDown in Chicago, tells everybody the great news. Chicago fans, I am cleared. I am ready to go for in-ring action. The crowd cheers. His hometown is going crazy. Boom. Attacked from behind. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre got screwed over by CM Punk in front of his hometown. Drew McIntyre is going to beat the piss out of CM Punk in his hometown, Chicago. I mean, I'm talking Cody Rhodes, The Rock level beatdown, where The Rock took him outside and it was raining. You guys know what I'm talking about. Now, I don't think that they do the whole blood thing on Fox, which, whatever. I guess we don't need it. They could always black and white the camera, but I'm talking that level beatdown. Clearly, CM Punk going to be on the shelf for a little bit from this beatdown. So that's what happens. Drew, at the end of this week, looks like an absolute savage, has his Money in the Bank spot secured, and has taken out CM Punk. He says, this guy's not going to screw me over. I'm cooking him. Fast forward, Drew talks about he's going to win Money in the Bank. He's going to, cash in, get his World Heavyweight Championship back. He is done focusing on CM Punk. It's time for the title. All that yada yada. Money in the Bank's 3 weeks away. So not a lot of work to do there. We get to Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre, you guessed it, about to reach up and grab the briefcase. CM Punk freaking screws him again. And I already know some of you, oh my God, again, rehashing the screwing. Yes, that is a lot of the storyline here. CM Punk feels he was screwed over in the Royal Rumble by Drew. Screwed. And Drew McIntyre feels his WrestleMania moment screwed up by CM Punk. And now Clash at the Castle. These guys are back and forth screwing each other up. And then Drew screws up CM Punk's return by beating the piss out of him on SmackDown. These guys are screwing each other over and over again. Left and right. Pause. Careful. Come on. Come on, head out of your ass. Come on. We're talking wrestling here. Come on. These guys absolutely get the best of each other. And I want to split field by doing this. I want part of the crowd to feel, all right, what is Phil Brooks, CM Punk doing at this point? He is screwing Drew over. And I want the other part of the crowd to be like, let's go, CM Punk, get him back. Don't let him beat you down in Chicago. I want to split the field. And we get essentially on the pathway to SummerSlam, Drew McIntyre trying to get his hands on CM Punk for screwing him. And maybe we get more versions of those Punk in the Skybox, that they did on the Raw that one time. Thought that was a cool segment. Things like that, where Drew is just trying to get his hands on Punk. Finally, Pierce makes the match official for SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. No disqualifications, street fight, however you want to call it, a Cleveland street fight. I don't know. Anyways, that is the match we get at SummerSlam. Those two, no disqualification, a co-main event. It's not going to close out the show. No title needed. That's why Drew didn't win in a Clash at the Castle, sadly for me, but we don't need the title. And in this match, I want it to be hard-hitting because these two hate each other, right? I mean, we need vicious chair shots, kendo sticks, a very physical beatdown match. But it's important. I want Drew to kind of very clearly look like he is stronger and better than CM Punk. I want Drew to kind of win 75% of this match. If you think to the I Quit match AJ and Cody had, I want the way that AJ looked very strong early on. I kind of want Drew to look like that throughout. I want Punk to have a little bit of bursts here and there. He uses some weapons to kind of even the playing field. Because again, CM Punk is a vet. He's smart. We know what he could do. Kendo sticks, handcuffs, whatever it may be. But Drew needs to look like the badass. He needs to look like the stronger of the two guys in the ring. And then we get to kind of, the climax of the match. You could feel it coming, whether that's, future shock, DDT, etc. And Drew gets in the corner, sets up for the Claymore. 3, 2, 1. And he gets attacked by a masked man. Guy, huge, brolic guy, attacks Drew. Remember, no disqualification. And beats him down. Punk gets the GTS. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk wins with the help of this masked vigilante who reveals himself to be Dijak. The WWE called up Dijak from NXT to Raw, and we haven't seen him yet. Now, if we see him in one of these Money in the Bank qualifier matches, so be it. But he hasn't had a big role on Raw after being called up about a month and a half ago. I think having him align with CM Punk could be good. This move officially confirms CM Punk a heel, which we haven't seen heel CM Punk in over a decade, but that is the best CM Punk. As well, Dijak gets some rub from a feud with from first off, working with CM Punk, second off, being with CM Punk in this feud against Drew McIntyre. Think of CM Punk and Dijak's relationship going forward as kind of, Christian and Tomka, or Tomko, excuse me, or even CM Punk and Luke Gallows when he was doing the whole Straight Edge Society thing. Some muscle behind CM Punk. We know CM Punk is best on the microphone, running his mouth. Think of Dijak as the muscle that backs up CM Punk running his mouth, kind of his insurance policy. But now Punk has won at SummerSlam. We go forward to the Raw after SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre, blind with rage, just comes to the ring. CM Punk, Phil Brooks, get your ass out here. And of course, he gets a 2-on-1 assault to him. Now, backstage later in the show, we see Drew McIntyre approached by his one and only ally on the Raw roster at this point, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. Hey, laddie, I see that you're in need of some backup. I got your back. Whatever. And this works because if you remember in the build to Clash at the Castle, Sheamus told Drew to go out there and get the title. And when he wins it, he wants a fair shake and them to have another banger as Sheamus says it. And he feels his friend that he shares pints with got screwed. And he's not wrong. So now we have a series of matches: Punk versus Sheamus, Drew versus Dijak, Sheamus versus Dijak, and not another Drew versus Punk, but you catch what I'm saying. Those sense of guys fight each other in singles action. It usually ends in brawls between the two. This takes us to the Bash at Berlin pay-per-view, in which we will have CM Punk and Dijak take on Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in a tag team match. I think it's nice and kind of what WWE is going to be doing going forward to add little wrinkles to rivalries, not just one-on-one, 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 3 matches, the end. And it doesn't even need to be just one-on-one regular match, one-on-one mid stipulation, one-on-one major stipulation. I think a tag team match here will be fine to tell the story. I think it could be the opener for Bash at Berlin. This isn't going to be the main event match of every pay-per-view. So I think it's fine to have in the middle of the road a tag team match here, get some, European representation on the pay-per-view with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Of course, the faces are going to win this tag match. I think it's going to be physical, hard-hitting. You see Punk kind of cower behind Dijak. Ultimately, we have Drew McIntyre pinning Dijak, not pinning Punk. Very important in this match. So now, the next night on Raw, CM Punk, you tell Phil Brooks, here's the microphone, sell us a third match. Or at least a third match in the rivalry. And Phil Brooks gets on the mic and says, Drew McIntyre's never pinned me. Drew McIntyre never could pin me. I'm the best in the world, best on this mic. The whole CM Punk shtick, what he does best. Drew McIntyre on the stage, this time, taking a step back, not letting rage dictate his decisions, showing a little bit of, character growth for this guy. Comes on the stage and says, Punk, I thought you might say something like this. In however many weeks, we have the return of the Bad Blood pay-per-view. Me and you, we have some bad blood. And you know what? Adam Pearce feels I've been screwed over by you one too many times. And he owed me a favor. And a tag match was fun. And as much as I love working with my brother Sheamus, I want you one-on-one. And to ensure your little friend over there keeps his mind out of our business, it'll be me and you at Bad Blood in a Hell in a Cell. And then you have weeks of promos building up to that. Talking about how brutal a Hell in a Cell match is. You could have Punk kind of say, I'm more experienced, the crafty veteran, things of that caliber. Basically, they're going to be saying why the other is going to win the match. Pretty self-explanatory. You could even, on one of the Monday Night Raws, do Drew versus Dijak in a steel cage, just so Drew could show off how he could be brutal when locked in a cage with a guy. So fast forward, we are here at Bad Blood in October. This is going to be, they blow off the end of the feud. And this is how I would book the Hell in a Cell match. I wanted to pay homage to Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, the original Bad Blood, the original Hell in a Cell match. And I want Drew very often in this match to feel dominant, like he did at SummerSlam in these guys' one-on-one encounters. If you remember the Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood, the Undertaker was very dominant early on. Shawn Michaels was trapped in a cell with the Undertaker, and that felt like something. I want it to feel like something in this scenario. I want it to be, holy, we have something here. This is a big deal. And Drew McIntyre, very physical with Punk, hard-hitting chops. You get the woo from the crowd. Drew bashing Punk into the cell. The whole shebang, right? We want it to be very Drew very early. However, I don't want Punk to just get his ass kicked. I want Punk to be crafty. I want Punk to use the things around to his advantage, whether it's dropping Drew by the legs into the steps, pushing Drew into the cell because you feel the cell off the side apron, Punk pull things out from under the ring, whether it's a fire extinguisher just to get some low-level advantage on Drew, bottles of water, squirt them in his face, handcuffs, like I mentioned at SummerSlam, chairs, kendo sticks, thumbtacks, whatever you need it to be for CM Punk to level the playing field here. Dijak slides him in a pair of brass knuckles from the outside. You know, maybe that's more sort towards the end of the match, but you get what I'm saying. Drew McIntyre is going to play the dominant, strong, brute face, while Punk will play the crafty heel in this match. And both guys will certainly get in their offense. This is how I would end the match. And it could be viewed as anticlimactic by some, but I would have Punk. This is the spot. I would have Punk have McIntyre up for the GTS. He goes to drop him down, and McIntyre catches the knee, looks at him, shakes his head, spins him around, future shock DDT in the corner. 3, 2, 1. Claymore connects, knocks Punk's head clean off, hopefully bleeding. It's a freaking Hell in a Cell match. Let's see some blood. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre defeats CM Punk, buries the demon there of, this guy's been in my life this whole time, and these guys go their separate ways. You have a Hell in a Cell match, that's it. End of the feud. Hell in a Cell should be reserved for that, and I have no doubt Triple H will do so. These guys have their big blow-off, Hell in a Cell, that's in October. Going forward, you could have Drew feud with Gunther, who my prediction will then be World Heavyweight Champion. They could have a match, a program going into the Royal Rumble. For CM Punk, I think a heel CM Punk versus a babyface Rollins is very much in play for WrestleMania, so maybe they have an interaction in the Royal Rumble, but that's kind of the direction these guys are headed. Maybe Drew finally wins the big one at WrestleMania over Gunther. You know, that's fantasy booking for further down the road. But that is how I would book the CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre feud. As always, leave your guys' comments down in the comment section. If you guys made it this far in the video, hit the like. You love wrestling, hit that subscribe button. I will catch you guys next time. Peace.